you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Over to Ms. Chitra Raste, Deputy General Manager and Regional Head of EXIM Bank, Pune.
Before that, I request our HOD Akhil Bajajwala sir to welcome our chief guest.
Good morning, dear students. Chitra ma'am, Deepika ma'am, and Principal sir. Indeed, it is a great pleasure for me to welcome the host of today's program, Ms. Chitra Raste. I am extremely thankful on behalf of Anjuman Khairul Islam and particularly BBA department that she has accepted our invitation for giving the lecture on import-export session. In spite of her busy schedule, she has accepted this invitation. I am grateful to her and look forward to her that in future also she will be cooperating us for giving the guidance to the students in trade and finance. Very much thank you to Chitra ma'am, and I also welcome all the students who have participated in this event of foreign trade, these lectures. Thank you very much, and I hope that you will get a great benefit from the lecture of Chitra ma'am. Over to you, Deepika ma'am.
Yes, thank you, sir. I will introduce honorable chief guest today. Mrs. Chitra Raste has been working with India EXIM Bank for close to 20 years. Currently, she is heading the Pune regional office and has Maharashtra and Goa under her jurisdiction. Among the other roles played by her, she oversaw the compliance function at the bank's London branch, and she has worked at a senior position in the risk management group of bank. Mrs. Raste is a qualified chartered accountant having secured a national rank at foundation, intermediate and final examination of the institute. She enjoys cooking and cycling cycling also from her busy schedules. So I welcome today's chief guest, Mrs. Chitra Raste ma'am. Over to ma'am. Madam. Madam, we are not audible. Chitra ma'am, we can't hear you.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes.
You're able to hear me. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. Something went wrong with the settings, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, good afternoon to everyone, and especially to the students who are of the BBA course. And I believe you have some thing on EXIM Bank in your syllabus, and that is the reason perhaps that you would like to know more about EXIM Bank and what all activities we are doing. What I'll do is I have prepared. If you can allow me to share the screen, because I have a presentation ready for you all.
Yes, ma'am, you can share. You are host, ma'am.
No, I am getting a message saying host disabled participant screen sharing. Perhaps, after I have rejoined, it is not allowing me to be the host or something. Maybe you need to just make me host once again. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, so are you all able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just a minute. Huh? Yeah, so you're able to see the screen, no? Yeah. So I will run you through a presentation on the role of EXIM Bank and what all activities we are doing. And I'll be happy to take any questions maybe at the end, just to understand if there are any questions for the students. Okay. So we are Export-Import Bank of India. We were set up in 1981, and we are a 100% government of India owned undertaking. So we are in existence for more than 40 years now. And our objective is primarily to finance, facilitate, and promote exports from the country. So, there are EXIM banks, or rather, I'll say EXIM Bank is categorized as an export credit agency of the country. So EXIM Bank of India is the export credit agency of India. Likewise, there are export credit agencies in various countries. So there is US EXIM Bank, Korea EXIM Bank, China EXIM Bank, and so on and so forth. So all these countries, in order to help their own exporting community, have got these setups of EXIM banks, right? Because we are 100% owned by the government, we naturally have Government of India nominees on our board of directors. The board is headed by our CMD or managing director and BMDs. We have representation from the Government of India, as I mentioned. Then there is representation from scheduled commercial banks. So right now we have SBI chairman on our board. Professionals and experts are there. RBI representation is there. Representation from IDBI, ECTC. So we have a very strong board where they get their own functional expertise and guide the operations of the bank. Presence, if you see, in India, we are across. We have 10 offices in India. So our head office is in Mumbai. In addition to that, we have one more office in Mumbai. Then, of course, I'm in Pune. We have Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Chandigarh, Chennai, Guwahati, Hyderabad, Kolkata, New Delhi, and Pune. So we do not have offices in Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 cities as yet. But because we are more of a wholesale kind of a bank, which I will come to later on, and we are not a retail bank where people will come and open their savings account or current account with us, we are situated at these prime locations. Okay. And overseas, if you see, we have offices in Washington. In London, we have a branch. I will also explain the difference between branch and regional office, in representative office in a while. We have 3 in Africa, Abidjan, Addis Ababa, and Johannesburg. We have 1 representative office in Dubai, in Dhaka, Yangon, and Singapore. Now, all these, if you see the small E's, Washington, Abidjan, Johannesburg, etc., and London has got a little bigger E, which I have put. So Washington and the other offices are representative offices. So by representative offices, what I mean is they are small offices with 1 or 2 people only, and they're primarily there for liaising work with the government bodies there, or Washington will liaison with IFC, World Bank, Abidjan, Johannesburg, AFDB, EXIM Bank, and other kind of organizations. So that is their role. London, we have, you're able to hear me, right? Okay. London, we have a full-fledged branch. So there are around 3 to 4 people posted in London, and there is business of funding happening from London. So we are borrowing in London and we are lending from London. I will come to our activities where you will get to know exactly what all borrowing and lending activities are happening from the bank. Otherwise, we are a small organization. So we will be all over, India and overseas. So all these 20 offices which you are seeing, we will be around close to 300, 325 people only. Because primarily we are a wholesale bank and we do not have retail operations. Okay. Now, what is our line of business? Our mission, which I told you in the first slide, is to facilitate globalization of Indian businesses. And how we are doing is through various programs, lending programs that we have. So now here I will take a couple of minutes to tell you why we are a wholesale bank and not a retail bank. So see, what happens is the nature of organization that we are. So EXIM Bank, though there is bank in our name, we are a financial institution. So by way of virtue of we being a financial institution, we do not open current accounts, savings accounts of individuals. We don't accept FDs from individuals, but we lend to corporates. So that is why I'm saying it's wholesale banking, right? So we are lending to MSMEs, SMEs, and large corporates, big corporates who are exporting, because as I mentioned to you that our mandate is to facilitate exports, finance exports. So if a company is already exporting, then we are financing those exports or any activity which the company is doing. So the programs, various programs which I have listed are used for helping the various exporting companies. Okay. What I can also tell you is, because we are owned 100% by the government of India, there are certain businesses which we classify as policy business and certain businesses which we classify as commercial business. So for policy business, that is business which is mandated by the government of India. So we carry out that business on instructions of government of India. Okay, one primary or a very big component of our business is the lines of credit business, which is there in my next slide. So under lines of credit, you all would have seen, that or read in the newspapers that we are extending, say, 10 billion line of credit to Bangladesh or to Nepal or Sri Lanka, right? So that is like India extends that credit to, for example, Bangladesh. And when the government of India announces this aid to Bangladesh, then EXIM Bank channelizes that line of credit. Okay. And the purpose of this line of credit is that exports should happen from India. Importer will be a Bangladeshi entity, and the credit is extended by EXIM India to the government of Bangladesh, and we have a sovereign guarantee of the government of India. So there will be a number of transactions which can be covered under this particular line of credit, and primarily it is to help the exporters export more. Plus, very important is it is a non-recourse transaction. I am not sure if you all have heard the term recourse and non-recourse. So I will tell you what a non-recourse transaction is. So see, when we are giving loan, or when any bank is giving you a loan, say a housing loan or an education loan, tomorrow if you do not pay back to the bank will come, they would have some security, they will enforce the security, they will take charge on your assets, and they will compel you to pay, correct? That is recourse to you. But here, when we are lending to the government of Bangladesh, then it is on non-recourse basis to the Indian exporter. So long as the Indian exporter is performing his obligation in supplying whatever goods and services or fulfilling his project commitments, we will not go to the Indian exporter to recover our dues. Our dues will be paid by the Bangladeshi government on due dates. I hope I have tried to make it as simple as possible, but if you all want me to make it further simple, you all can please tell me. Okay. So this is a line of credit. This is one of our major businesses where we have extended, like in last year, that is by 2021, we have extended around 17 lines of credit, and the value of that was more than $2 billion. Various countries in Africa, CIS, nations, Asia. So generally the underdeveloped countries or countries which are lesser developed than India, because then they are able to afford credit from India. US, UK will not want to take loans from India, right? Similar to similar to line of credit, we have similar kind of arrangement, which is buyer's credit under National Export Insurance Account. So by National Export Insurance Account, what I mean is it is a trust which is managed by, which is set up by the Ministry of Commerce, administered by ECGC. So here also similar kind of transaction happens, but here the government doesn't decide which country to extend credit to. Here the Indian exporter can decide. So many times, Indian exporters are getting contracts overseas. So like, for example, this photo which I have shown, where we have funded to the government of Senegal purchase of vehicles. This was entered into by Ashok Leyland, right? So when Ashok Leyland was contacted by the government of Senegal for purchasing vehicles from them, then it was a bilateral contract between Ashok Leyland and the government of Senegal, and was guaranteed by the government of Senegal. So this is a bilateral kind of arrangement between Indian exporter and an overseas government, and that is covered under buyer's credit under NEIA. This is again a non-recourse transaction. So in case the government of Senegal does not pay us for what credit we have given them, then we will not go to Ashok Leyland. We have to recover the funds from the government of Senegal or from the National Export Insurance account where ECGC has given us a insurance. So we take an insurance against the credit that we are extending to the government of Senegal, which is an example which I am giving here. Okay, so this is another, so lines of credit and buyer's credit under NEIA, they are more of the policy businesses, which are like government mandated businesses, which are done by the bank. And both of them are those non-recourse kind of transactions. Similar to buyer's credit under NEIA, we have buyer's credit commercial. So now all the programs which I will explain to you are the commercial business transactions of the bank. Okay. So now under buyer's credit commercial, see what happens is every time an Indian exporter is not going to do contracts overseas only with governments of various countries, correct? Normally people will do contracts with private parties overseas, and those private parties overseas will require funding for executing the contract. So the importer in a particular country, when an exporter is exporting, say vehicles, for example, then that importer says that, okay, fine, you are exporting these vehicles to me. But what about the funds? I need money to pay you. And can you also arrange some kind of financing for that? Can you arrange to say that along with this funding, you give me some credit? See, one idea is that the exporter ships and gives him credit and says, okay, fine, you may take around 90 days or 180 days to sell the vehicles. You pay me after 180 days. But until that time, the exporter is not getting his money back, one. And more importantly, in case what happens if the overseas buyer does not pay him? Then the risk is on the Indian exporter. His vehicles have also gone and he's not getting the money also. So naturally, no Indian exporter will want to do, or no exporter will want to do something like this. So we can, as EXIM Bank, we can extend finance to the importer. So we can say, okay, you are purchasing from India. We are EXIM Bank of India. We want to help you. So we can give you funding, provided you are importing from India, whatever vehicles, for example. You import vehicles from India based on acceptable security structure and everything. We will give you funds. And what we will do is we will give you funds in the sense you will tell us that, yes, we have received the vehicles as per whatever our agreed terms were. Can you please pay the Indian exporter? So our money will not reach the overseas shores. We will give money to the Indian exporter for completing this transaction. This is also a non-recourse transaction. And in case the overseas importer does not pay us, the overseas importer is actually our borrower, then we have a right to enforce the security which the overseas exporter would have given. That is generally in the form of bank guarantee or something which we generally insist, because it is an overseas country where we don't know how to create security, enforce security, etc. Yeah. In addition, I actually had this been more of a personal or more of an interactive kind of session, no, I might have been able to explain better understanding how much the students have already studied or they have known, or how much I have to simplify a particular topic. But I think I will just go ahead with what I think I should simplify. Yeah. So
yes.
Yeah, that is okay, no?
Yeah, ma'am. No, it's absolutely fine.
It is okay. Or if you want me to tell even simple, then I can try to make it even simpler. Because see, generally what happens is all these transactions in the commercial, like once people start working and they are employed somewhere, they are very much aware of all these terms and terminologies. But as students, I'm not sure, that they will know all these terms, terminologies, which I'm.
Yeah. It's in our syllabus. No problem.
Yeah. Oh.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So now project exports. So project exports, you all know that we have a lot of project exports happening from India, which is project exports is primarily EPC kind of contracts, or the BOO kind of contracts, consultancy contracts, turnkey contracts, correct? So for project exports, we are providing funded facilities as well as non-funded facilities. By funded facilities, what I mean is we give actual money. So we are actually giving cash, in the sense bank loans, right? And by non-funded, it is money is not going away from our account, but we are giving guarantees. So there are, see, for project exports, non-funded facilities is very, very important, because all the project exporters, they have to give guarantees in the form of advance payment guarantee, performance guarantee, pension money guarantee, other guarantees. Why? I will give you one small example for advance payment guarantee, and then you all can read about the other guarantees. So advance payment guarantee, what happens is, typically under a project export, these are the high value project exports, when an Indian exporter has struck a contract with some importer in a particular country, then typically what happens is, he says that yes, they signed the contract, everything is done. Then he says, okay, now that this contract is entered into, I will start manufacturing for you. I will start procuring various goods and raw materials that I need to construct your activity, or to give you whatever you need to from me. But what is the guarantee that, how do I, from where do I raise the funds? I don't have that much money. I am going to procure the raw materials specifically for your own contract, for working on your contract. And I want to see your commitment. The exporter is saying, I want to see the importer's commitment to the contract. Otherwise, what will happen is, here he will spend crores and crores of rupees procuring so many goods and raw materials. And there that importer has forgotten all about the contract, and importer says, no, now I have changed my mind. I don't want anything from you. Then what does the exporter do? So he says that you show me your commitment. So typically what happens is, the importer gives him some payment, advance payment. So maybe 5% of the contract value, 10% of the contract value. The importer will say, here, you take this money from me. With this money, you start procuring whatever goods you need, and you start manufacturing for me. But now importer there is also worried. He says, okay, I have parted with my money. What if the exporter uses it for something else only? Then how am I protected? One is sitting in one country, the other one is in India. So it's difficult, right? So importer says, fine, I will give you my money. But what is the guarantee that you are going to use it for what I have given you? So he says, okay, fine, I will give you an advance payment guarantee. So the Indian exporter goes to his bank and says that, you please give me an advance payment guarantee in favor of the importer, so that tomorrow, if I do not perform my obligation as is desired by the importer, then the importer can invoke the advance payment guarantee. Importer can come and tell the bank that, hello, your exporter has not performed the obligations as he was telling me to do. So you please give me my money back. I want my advance payment that I have done. I want it back. Okay. So this is an advance payment guarantee. So same way is performance, retention. So this forms a very, very important part of banking, especially for project exports, for non-funded. So we are giving all those guarantees also. So we are issuing advance payment guarantee, performance guarantee, there's a bid bond guarantee, pension money guarantee. So all those guarantees also EXIM Bank is issuing, and as well as fund-based facilities, where for pre-shipment credit is, whatever advance, suppose this exporter has received from the importer is not sufficient for his requirements, then he can come to a bank and say, okay, importer has given me, say, suppose 10 crore of rupees for advance, but I need even more money, because I need to, this is a very complex project, I need to purchase more goods. So can the bank give me some money? So that is pre-shipment credit. Okay, so before shipment, for procuring raw materials and converting the raw materials into finished goods, whatever credit is required, the bank can give in the form of pre-shipment credit. After pre-shipment, what happens is, the exporter will ship the goods. Now, even after the exporter shipping the goods, till the importer receives the goods and whatever are the agreed terms, till the importer pays the money to the Indian exporter, he will not get his money, right? But his money is still stuck. So he says, okay, my importer is going to pay me. There will be some 30 days time for shipment of goods. And as per our agreed terms, my importer will be paying me in 60 days time. So for those 90 days, which I am out of pocket, can you give me some money? He comes to and asks the bank. So that is the post-shipment. So after shipment, till the importer is paying him the money, is the post-shipment credit. So we are giving pre-shipment credit, we are giving post-shipment credit. We are also doing export cash flow deficit financing, which is what happens is, as I was explaining to you, this under project exports, there are a lot of payments which it starts with advance payment, and then there are payments which come on milestone basis. So some part of the project is executed, then the importer will pay some more money. Then again, some part is executed, the importer will pay some more money. So there will be some kind of a cash flow, peak and deficit kind of a thing. So there will be some money coming in, the exporter will spend all of that, then he doesn't have money. But still he has to complete some work. Then he ships something, that again he gets money, then again. So depending on the peak cash flow deficit, how much maximum is the deficit, we can sanction limit up to that extent. And then we are monitoring the project cash flows. And accordingly, we will disburse. And as soon as the importer is going to pay anything to the Indian exporter, we will have to get that money back to clear our money. So we are basically in the business of lending. I hope by now that would have been clear that what we are primarily doing is we are extending loans to various companies, for various requirements. So this is the project exports. This is one of our flagship programs, I can say, that is the overseas investment finance. See, nowadays you would have seen so many Indian companies are venturing out overseas, and it's something of pride, right, for us. So Indian companies are going overseas, they're acquiring overseas companies, or they are setting wholly owned subsidiaries abroad, or they're entering into joint ventures overseas. And this way India is flourishing, right? So what India EXIM Bank is doing for them is we are giving loans to the Indian companies if they want to go and acquire some companies. So here I have given examples of our own Pune-based company, Sterlite Technologies, where they had acquired a company in UK, Impact Data Solutions Group, and we had funded GBP 8 million. GBP is pounds, Great Britain pounds, 8 million to Sterlite Technologies for part financing this acquisition. So we are giving funding to companies for acquiring companies or setting up wholly owned subsidiaries or entering into JVs. Likewise, now suppose after this, a company has acquired an overseas company. Sometimes it might so happen that that overseas company needs funding, and okay, here I'll say, okay, after acquisition, I'll take a better example. Sometimes, Indian company may set up a wholly owned subsidiary abroad, and that wholly owned subsidiary may need funding. Now it is, for example, if it is Sterlite Technologies Limited who has set up a wholly owned subsidiary overseas and they want funding. But we know, right, from India, we are comfortable with Sterlite Technologies Limited, or say suppose Tata Group has set up some company. But it might just so happen in the overseas jurisdiction, people are not very comfortable with that group, or they don't know that group. So what we do is we can also give funding to the overseas subsidiary of an Indian company based on merits. So we are funding like this also. So this overseas investment finance program is that kind of program where we are doing such kind of funding. Research and development has a lot of big role to play these days, correct? Where especially in the COVID times, a lot of pharma companies have engaged in research and development activities, and they have come up with vaccines and things like that. So we are financing the research and development activities of companies by way of long-term loans, and both capital expenditure and revenue expenditure of these companies is covered. So what happens is whatever infrastructure or if they want to have land and building and they want to construct some facility for their R&D activities, that definitely we will give, but also the revenue expenditure. So salaries of scientists or any kind of admin expenses or something like that, that also we will give by way of a term loan. So since you all are commerce students, you all will understand that revenue expenditure otherwise is a 1 year kind of expenditure, right? It's a short-term expenditure, but that expenditure also we are giving by way of a term loan, which helps a lot to these research and development. And why we are doing that is because research and development activities, it will only involve a lot of investment in the beginning, and the revenues from that will come later on when that R&D is successful and the product is commercialized and it is launched in the market. Only then will they be able to repay us. So we have been supporting R&D activities. Here also we have supported MQR Pharmaceuticals, which is again Pune-based client, for their R&D activities. The other lending programs are EOUD, that is export oriented unit. So if a company is exporting, we are financing their programs, any of their activities. So greenfield development, brownfield project, any kind of such projects, we are giving loans. Production equipment finance program is in case any company wants to acquire machinery for their routine capex or something, we are giving loans. So this EOUD, production equipment, any other bank is also doing. So it's not like especially, that EXIM Bank is only doing, any other bank will be giving such kind of loans to their corporate clients. Export facilitation also, any kind of modernization of ports, jetties, roads, railways, we cover it under our export facilitation. We are also providing bulk import finance, where in case a company is not exporting, but requires import of bulk raw material for economies of scale, then it's like a working capital finance for bulk import. That also we are doing. Now I'll come to this Ubharte Sitare, which is a recent most initiative where the finance minister in her budget speech of 2020, she had announced, that we need to find the hidden champions in the society. So maybe SMEs, MSMEs, companies who have, who have a lot of export potential, but that is still unexploited. It's not exploited as much. So for them, India EXIM Bank and SIDBI together, they can help identify such companies where there is some differentiated product process technology available, and we should be able to support such companies with term loans or equity support, as well as some advisory services. So that is what is our Ubharte Sitare program. So we want to assist in job development, we want to increase the exports from the country, and of course the overall economic growth. So that is the idea of this Ubharte Sitare program. So what we say is small and medium-sized companies should be there with their ability to penetrate global markets. They should have a good business model, and they should have some unique proposition, technology, product, processes, something like that. And they should be fundamentally strong companies. Then we are doing covering them under Ubharte Sitare program. In addition, now see, Ubharte Sitare is where there are small and medium-sized companies, say 10 crore, 100 crore to 500 crore kind of companies. But there are some which are very, very small, right? There are so many artisans and upcoming handloom industry kind of a thing, who also need some kind of promotion. So we have this Grassroot initiatives for development, that is the grid and market advisory services, where we promote grassroots initiatives and technologies where there's some kind of export potential. We give them some training and help them get in touch with some overseas importers. So like, we had given a design, development and technical training for bamboo and cane artisans. We had marketed recycled plastic woven wood products. Then we had helped place copper and leather products, textile, banana fiber items with global suppliers, right? So this is a grid and market advisory. And in addition, I will urge you all to go through this portal, because as students, you can get a lot of information from this EXIM Mitra. EXIM Mitra we had launched in 2017 with the bank's objective to improve the financial facilitation of international trade. So this is a portal where you will get one-stop lot of information on international trade, which are the insurance agencies, which are the banks doing what kind of facilities are giving. So entrepreneurs help through a single window. Entrepreneurs are helped towards their efforts in internationalizing their business. This is a graph which shows where all we have our presence, in the sense business presence. And the first slide, initial slides I showed you where we are physically present. This is all places where in some form or the other we would have extended some credit and all. And yeah, that is it. So we can take any questions if you all want. Or yeah, we have some time, because today actually there's some meeting which is scheduled around 12:50, 12:55. So I had just requested that we should try to wrap up by that time. But if there are any questions, yeah, I'm happy to take.
Ma'am, first I want to ask the question that the opportunities that that BBA student can get in India in this sector, in exporting.
See, export import sector opportunities, if you see, then any of the companies who are exporting, I'm sure they will want to employ people who have a knowledge of the exporting activities or the nuances of export trade, or what is required, maybe getting the licenses and approaching the GFT, etc. So I'm sure any of the exporting companies will require such kind of students who would be able to add value to them.
Okay, ma'am.
Plus anybody wanting to turn entrepreneur, of course.
Yes.
On their own.
Yeah. Students, if you have any doubts, queries regarding foreign trade, you can ask to ma'am directly. On your video,
In fact, if you can send to Sonali,
Hello.
what is there in your BBA syllabus? I am curious to see what exactly is covered under the BBA syllabus under EXIM 9.
Hello.
Yeah.
Ma'am, if you want to explore any opportunities in the export-import banking sector, what
Yeah.
is the best way we can approach?
You can send in your CVs to the HR group, and then HR will take it forward from there. Then, depending
Any
on the vacancies.
particular stream or qualification that they require, ma'am?
So generally, we are having chartered accountants, MBAs, lawyers. We have. Yeah. So yeah, plus we have some research analysis. So economists we are having. There's a research and analysis group. So a lot of economists are employed there. Commerce also we have, but generally little bit of maybe some, not just graduate. So maybe as a BBA also, what I feel is it is good. You can send in your resume to our HR department, and from there they will take it up depending upon the vacancies available.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, is there EXIM Bank providing a special training course for such entrepreneurs? Any special sessions are there by government?
No. We don't have those kind of sessions. We are going various places to explain what we are doing. So what all we can do, which broadly I have covered in today's session. But how to be an entrepreneur or something like that, that we are generally not doing. You could think of approaching any of these industry associations where perhaps, they have a lot of courses like that. So I know of MCCIA here in Pune, Maratha Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture. It's at Senapur Bapat Road. So I think they do have some kind of a training program on how to become an exporter or entrepreneur or what all is required. So there they get representation from DGFT, ECGC, then we also go and speak. So maybe some industry association should be able to help you there.
Yeah, ma'am, it is generally said that we are back in exports from India. Okay. So so what you feel, why we are, which skills we needed, means our students should improve for this export and improve?
Oh, see, I will say we need to have a good definition of quality, I would say, so that whatever we are doing, be it in your college life, school life, answering questions, writing exams, or talking or presenting, we should have that kind of a definition of our quality, which should be world class. So when you are presenting in front of people or when you're going overseas, there you should be able to present in such a way that yes, those people are impressed and they feel yes, there is a lot of sense, dealing with us. So that is something of prime importance, which communication is very important. You should be able to communicate properly so that you are able to speak and convey what you want to or sell what you want to sell properly. But otherwise, Indian exports are growing. That is not a problem. In fact, people are taking a lot of efforts and people are doing contacting so many countries. And there are institutions like EXIM Bank who are helping them. Not just EXIM Bank, we have ECGC who's giving them credit insurance cover and also. That way exports are growing. In fact, this year our target is $400 billion and there's quite a bit of guarantee that India would be achieving our targets also.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Students, those who have a question, queries, you can ask directly to ma'am. Is there any questions? Ma'am, we are happy to announce that we have completed 30 hours course in foreign trade. That is, specially we run the course to introduce what is export, import, how to do it, and challenges, foreign exchange and international trade services. So hope so our student will get benefit with this. And thank you, ma'am, really for giving your valuable time for us.
Thank you.
Yes, Amira, you can continue.
Education is simply the soul of a society as it passes from one generation to another. Thank you, Chitra ma'am, for your knowledge and valuable time. Now I would like to call upon Hina Sayed. Ma'am, could you please give us vote of thanks? Hina Sayed ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Beta.
Ma'am, you are not audible. Could you please be a little loud?
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A very good afternoon to one and all. I, Assistant Professor Ms. Hina Sayed, on behalf of Anjuman Khairul Islam, Pune College, grateful that I got the opportunity to propose vote of thanks for an expert lecture on role of EXIM Bank in India's foreign trade, organized by Department of BBA under Certificate Course in Foreign Trade. Honorable Trustees of Pune College, our beloved Principal Professor Dr. Aftab Anwar Sheikh, and most valued guest of honor, Ms. Chitra Raste, Deputy General Manager and Regional Head, EXIM Bank Pune. I am intensely happy to hear such an informative and wonderful presentation on role of EXIM Bank and an in-depth explanation on working and functions of EXIM Bank. My heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest of today, Ms. Chitra Raste. Thank you, ma'am. You explained it in such a simple way to our student, and I'm sure that student will definitely be gained by your informative lecture. My sincere thanks to our head of the department BBA, Professor Akhil Bajajwala, for his continuous guidance and support. I congratulate the course coordinator, Assistant Professor Deepika Kininge, for successfully completing the course. I extend my thank you to all the students, especially Ms. Amara Sheikh and Ms. Sophia Sheikh, who contributed to today's function. I thank one and all present here who contributed their valuable time. Thank you. I wish all to you a very good day ahead. Over to
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes. Good day, ma'am.
Good
We
day.
will,
yeah,
yes. We will continue this relation with you always.
Sure.